Hi, it's Micah. Today I wanted to go through the Minor Arcana and the Moonchild Tarot. The majors make sense to me, and the aces obviously do too, but there's a few that got me a little puzzled, so I figured I'm probably not the only one. So, comparing it to the RWS. So, balance, I don't really see. I mean, I kind of do in the Moonchild. Um, she's balancing it with herself. I don't know. All the images are beautiful, but I think they're just going to take a little bit of time for me to get to know. Three of Pentacles working together makes sense. All right, the four is a little odd, and I'm not a fan of like the starlight on the face. It's, I don't know, just a me thing, I think. But so in the book, it even says like she's choking, restraining herself. And I guess if you let your materialism suffocate you, that's what it's trying to imply. Mm, mm. All right. The Five of Pentacles. The typical, like, being out in the cold. But in this version, she's, like, in the desert naked. Not sure how she got there. Maybe she should call somebody about that. But, I don't necessarily love that it doesn't have, like, the obvious, there's help available if you reach out, but I guess this could be like, if she just picks them up, then she could buy some clothes and wouldn't be naked. Okay, here's where we start getting weird, right? So, the Six of Pentacles should be RWS wise about, giving to those who are less fortunate. Like if you have enough yourself and can help those that in need, then you should. Can also be like equal give and take. But this, along with several cards in the minors, is just a pretty girl meditating. And I did flip through the book a bit, and I'll probably jump in at some point because the book is well done. But I wish I had it easily accessible in the cards. Like, I don't think it's very beginner friendly to say, like, if you look at this, the guy obviously planted and he's waiting for the harvest. But then you get this Seven of Pentacles, and I mean, maybe that's her being grateful. I don't know. And then, like, the mirror images of her being like, yo, back off. Like, that's what I get from it. So, Eight of Pentacles. You got the consistent hard work, repetition, makes perfect. And then the Eight of Pentacles and the Moonchild. Okay. I guess, building all this would take time, and they're the same. So it's like, obviously, people had to do the task over and over and over again of making the same pillars perfect, maybe to be able to carve a statue. All right, we got the 9. So, she's happy. She got her harvest. She has everything she needs. I mean, in this one, she's definitely, dancing and happy. And maybe, like, this is the doorway to her own personal sanctuary that she made for herself. I haven't, like, even shuffled this deck yet. So I kind of want to do this video to learn myself. So, interesting with this one. The Ten of Pentacles, you have everything you need. Your children have what they need. So you get that like legacy vibe. And at first glance, I didn't, but I looked at it again. And so these stones, it was a lot of effort, probably in some sort of money or time or effort, which is still, you know, part of the Pentacle suit, was put there for them to last for generations, you know, possibly hundreds plus years for other people to appreciate. So I do kind of get that. Kind of understand. All right. Page. Looks good. You know, they're both really, really focused on that pentacle there. The Knight. Yeah. I mean, typically the Knight is, again, focused on the pentacle, slow moving, slow growth. And it's interesting that his back is to the pentacles, but he's still holding the flag like, I don't know, he's admiring it. The Queen. So, okay. In the Moonchild, not only are specifically the kings very young, in my opinion, because, you know, royalty marries young if they can. You know, everybody wants the young hot girl, in theory. And she's definitely, like, lavish, but they're all, like, side profile pictures. So you don't get that posture, right? Like, she's almost, like, lovingly holding it, looking down. I don't know. I mean, it's still beautiful, but I think body posture kind of, like, represents something to me. Like him, you know? If you notice, too, he's also looking down. But, like, look how young this king is. I know I'm not the first person to say this, but he looks young. He's a baby. It is what it is. Alright, all the aces in this are beautiful. I just left them in because I think it would be weird not to. Okay, Two of Swords. So typically it's blindfolded. You have to make a decision. And I like the cross swords. So it's like, it can be a hard decision. Either way, you might get cut, you know? In this one, the swords are like off, and maybe it's like you have to choose a sword. And she's not blindfolded, but I do like that she's looking directly at you, like you have to make a choice. So that's cool. I got that. Traditional Three of Swords, stabby hearts. Four of Swords. I mean, she does look restful, but so many cards in this deck are like that, but I get it. And if you notice, there's the three vertical and one horizontal, which is the same. All right, so Five of Swords. Typically, you know, you defeated the other ones. You win at what cost? And I peeked in the book about this one because I guess she won, and now she, you know, has the swords from whatever victory she may have accomplished, but she's alone now, and she doesn't probably feel good about it. She doesn't have support for what she's done, and she has to now carry that burden with her. I mean, she could just leave them in the woods, but nobody likes a litterer, right? So yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful image. Kind of get it. All right. The Six of Swords. Typically, this is, you know, you're in your boat. You went through some stuff, you know, they're like somber. You're moving away into calmer waters, away from whatever, but you're still taking that, like, those memories, that baggage with you. Okay. And this card, she's veiled. So it kind of gives that, like, more somber vibe. But I don't necessarily get that movement. I mean, there is the water, but this seems more like she's pushing against conflict. But there is that air of, like, confidence, like, even though, I don't know, she's, like, fighting against it. I feel like maybe this should be in one of the wands because the wands are very stagnant. We'll get there. All right, Seven of Swords. So this is like the sneaky thief card. And this one, I guess it's like having the eye covered. It's like somebody's pulling one over on you. Okay. The Eight of Swords. I really typically like, you know, this imagery that you're not really bound all that tight. You could get out of it. But this one, it's beautiful. She's alone in the woods, trying to, like, you know, do her craft. But I don't know. Maybe the indecision is where to go from here. All right. Nine of Swords, the Nightmare card. She doesn't look all that troubled. You know? She looks a little somber. But there's definitely that everything's attacking at her type of vibe. But I mean, that moon's so big, she could just be like, watcha, you know? Beat the swords away with the moon, but I don't know. Pretty card. Ten of Swords, traditional stabby. She does not look as defeated, which I kind of like. You know, she's like, this sucks, but I'm going to be able to pull these swords up and get out, which isn't so much shown in this card. So that's fine by me. So the Page of Swords, I actually like that she's pointing to her mind because the swords is about the mind and your thoughts. So she's like trying to focus and hone in on that. And it's almost like she has like an energy orb like coming out of her head, which is cool. Typically with the Knight of Swords, I like to see that fast movement, maybe a little bit of ego, full speed ahead, but this just, he's not. I feel like if we take a sneak peek at the court cards, like he's more so waiting for instruction. In my opinion, that's the feeling I get. Like he's like, okay, king and queen, tell me who you want me to slaughter now. So, I don't know. I don't quite get that. Once again, the posture is not there, but she's all, you know, suited up, protected, very young. For some reason, this card keeps reminding me of the grandmother in The Witcher. If you guys have seen that, like, she's a badass and, like, goes and fights her own battles. I don't know. So, the King of Swords, once again, you don't get that posture, but you have, like, all armored up. Which is interesting because I don't really see any armor in the Rider-Waite. And you lose, like, that extra symbolism. Like, it's just a background. There's no animals carved into the chairs or anything like that. Ace of Wands. Good. Alright. The Two of Wands. You know, you got the world in your hands. You can choose where to go from here. I really like that she's looking at you. Like, you got the two wands here. And, like, it's the archway. She's about to hand you the world and say, where do you want to go now? So, I like that. I'm about that. That's cool. The Three of Wands. I feel like I kind of want to know what conversation they're having. But, I mean, it's okay. Waiting for those ships to come in. Four of Wands. Very pretty. You know, celebration, happy home. Okay, here we go with the stagnancy in the wands. So 5 of Wands is typically like that competition, like that equal balance of conflict. And you don't really get that here, right? So let me peek in the book. I want to pause this, but I'm scared it'll knock out my audio again. Let's see if we can do this super quick. Okay. So here's the book. I like that it actually gives a decent amount of information. Like I said, I would just rather personally be able to get my information just by looking at the cards. But we have conflict, competition, tension, delays, and independence. Don't really feel that. So the explanation of the art is 3 sisters stand beneath the vibrant form of Saturn, a planet that is associated with limitation and restriction. Here they appear as equal in their stance, but beneath the surface of their hearts, they hide their own personal hopes and dreams. Their energies are filled with competition in opposition with one another. So, yeah, like the book's written great, but you're going to have to, oops, that's the wrong card. You're going to have to kind of like study or make up your own stories in your head, which I kind of like to do. But I wouldn't say you would understand if you were a beginner. Or even me. Like, if I pull a bunch of cards, I don't want to necessarily have to, like, does this look like you've just won a battle or are being celebrated a victory? You obviously see that here with the wreath, you know, the people cheering on. They're the only person on the horse. They got the wreath on the head. And this one, it's just a mirror image of the girl with the wands. I mean, you got like that rainbow, but I don't feel praise in this card. Satisfaction maybe, but not praise from others. 7 of Wands, okay, you know, you're trying to defend yourself. Doesn't really feel like a fair fight anymore. And then we got this. So it says something about like she's trying to gain the energy from the eclipse, and the wands are just kind of hanging out over here. I don't know. All right, 8 of Wands. This is supposed to be typically like the swiftness, the fast movement, full speed ahead. And I mean, this seems pretty stagnant unless it's like this is where you have to go. So like full speed ahead like a train, like straight through the tunnel. But okay, if there was no title on this card, would you be able to guess what it is? Like that's kind of my point, right? Because this is easy. No title. You know, they're all moving the same direction. This almost feels like it's limiting. Like this is the only direction you can go because the sides are blocked off. All right. 9 of Wands. So this is like, you know, you won your wands. You're pretty beat up about it. You're defending what you got, right? And then we have this. I think this card would feel more accurate if the wands were behind her, maybe. Like if she was like, okay, these are mine. But it looks less like it's been a hardship. It looks more like she's being divinely helped. 10 of Wands. You got the heavy burden. She doesn't look so burdened, but once again, they're all beautiful cards. Page of Wands. So in this card, which is odd because I think all the other ones are actually wands, but this one she has like, I don't know, a rock on fire or something. But fire suit, like, that's cool, whatever. Eh. The knight. Okay, this is another knight which has movement, right? You know, he's charging ahead. And he's not a chargin' here, right? Like, maybe he can, like, teleport. And this wand's kind of, like, bursting. Should I read this one? Maybe I'll read this one. Yeah, I think the wand suit is the one I have the most trouble interpreting an RWS way. So let's see what this says. Okay, keywords: restless, quest, impatient, daring, and adventure. I mean, you kind of think like, okay, he could be like embarking on adventure, but does he look restless or impatient? I don't know. The Knight of Wands stands with a great staff at the edge of a rocky mountain. The fiery sky above and the red foliage around them indicate a passionate spark for adventure that is fueled with curiosity and drive. The knight also stands atop a hill, looking out into the universe, seeing an endless source of experience and journeys. Just so you know, then there's like questions and more meanings for the cards, but I'm just kind of going over what they say about the artwork. Oh, I think I'm just going to have to get the know the deck, you know? Alright, spoiler alert, there's no cat in the Queen of Wands. And you don't get, I don't see... I see flowers, but ironically, I don't see a sunflower, and that's, like, typically associated, right? That fire energy from the sun. King of Wands, no salamander, no lion, none of that kind of esoteric hints. But you do have the element signs. I don't think I pointed that out. They're on all the core cards. Ace of Cups, beautiful. Oh, and if you look like super close, I don't know if you can see it. There's like, it looks like the lovers or something like that in the cup, which is cool. All right, the Two of Cups. I like that it's not very romantic. It almost feels to me like they're both offering something that I assume is of equal value, both bringing that to the table. So that works. Three of Cups, we got like the celebration card, ladies' night out. They don't look super happy. They're like, pose for this picture, please. But that's okay. I mean, it's gorgeous. All right, Four of Cups. So this is typically like somebody offering you something and you're not interested. You're like, no, I don't even really want to play with the cups I have. Like, go away. And this is just another pretty meditation card, but she isn't looking at the cups. Maybe she's just really focused. All right, the grief card, the Five of Cups. So typically they're looking at the three cups that are spilt and not the two that are still intact. But in this one, it's interesting. There's four cups that are upright and she's looking at those instead of the spilt cup. So it's a little different than normal, but she definitely doesn't look happy. So, yeah. Ah, scare myself. All right. The Six of Cups, you know, reminiscing about your childhood, happiness, friendship, gifts. And this card, I don't know. Like, I don't know why that cup's so far away. Like, why is she reaching out towards it? I don't I don't really know. I mean, she does look like she's looking out into the vast expanse and the ruins over there. But once again, if there was no title or cups in this card, say, like, I don't think I could even guess that it was supposed to be the 6. All right. We got the 7 of Cups, you know, choices, a bunch of options, decision to be made. Typically, all the cups are different. And I noticed, pet peeve here, these two are the same. Why? Just a pet peeve, right? Pretty card, though. All right. Got the 8 of Cups. So you're leaving your emotions from a situation behind. You're like, this doesn't work for me anymore. I need to move on. I need to get out of here. And this shows just the cups in the water. And to me, unless you're walking like towards, like away from them this way, like that would be, this terrain looks like it's very hard to traverse. Is that the word? Maybe it's just like throw the cups in the water and leave them where they are type of thing. All right, and I have the devil card up next on purpose because I did a little short video that I deleted because I thought this card might be damaged. And then I was like, well, maybe that's supposed to be Saturn from like a horizontal angle. And if you see, like, this has it too. So I think that's what it's supposed to be. You know, the artist can do what they want. I just wish it was a little bit more pronounced, so I didn't think it was a scratch. But I just wanted to throw that out there. All right. 10 of Cups. I don't know why, but for me, this hand posture, like, seems kind of defensive, right? You're like, no. Like, if you were one of those traffic people telling cars when to, like, stop and go, right? And it's interesting that, like, these cups aren't equal. Like, it's almost like there's one that she holds above the rest, unless it's, like, this is her cup and, like, she's willing to share those. I don't know. I don't know yet. I might have to read the book, like, in its entirety. All right, 10 of Cups. Typically, you know, happy family, emotions, rainbows. And I really like this card. Like, you still got the rainbow. But it's not like, I don't have kids, right? So I like when it's just like two ladies, like friends, lovers, whatever they may be. It doesn't really matter. But like they're toasting, like to celebration, like we're happy in our life right now. This is probably my favorite 10 of Cups now that I own. All right. The page, typically, you know, a fish in the cup. And this card is very, very different, the Page of Cups. So, it's odd. She's not even holding the cup. The cup's, like, down here, and she's walking away from it. But maybe it's, like, she's about to take that step into, like, interpreting her emotions. I don't know. I love comments, guys. So, if you have any feedback, I'm sure there's people that's been working with this deck for years. Feel free to say anything. All right, Knight of Cups. This is like, you know, the Prince Charming card, right? He's slowly moving on his horse, presenting the cup to you, basically. And I find it so strange that this is the only knight in the deck that has a horse, and it's for the cups. I would have preferred it either be the Knight of Swords or the Knight of Wands to be on a horse. And she's also carrying a sword, and she's armored. So, my interpretations could be that maybe she's more wary of who she gives her heart to, who she shares her emotion with. Maybe she's on a horse because you have to leave the past emotions behind. I don't know. It's very, very different. Compared to the rest of the cards, I should say. All right, the Queen of Cups. I mean, she looks lovely. But you miss all that, like, all that little symbolism, right? In the water. Last card. King of Cups. Once again, very young. Not much going on, but you do have these hearts, which I guess in case, you know, you forgot what the cups represent. And I guess guys have feelings too, so maybe it's trying to push that forward with the king, that he thinks with his heart, his emotions. So that's the video. One quick thing. Look what I got at my local grocery store, guys. I'm going to kill the ring light. Look how pretty. Bought myself it for Valentine's Day, like $15. Yes. Have a wonderful day.